Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone, in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8. This is Let's Play Culling of Normality. The alarm clock goes off at the crack of dawn. The official start of a new day. This day being August 13th. The married couple groggily get up from their bed. It's too early. The pigs and the chickens won't be happy if you make them wait for breakfast. Fine. The farmer got dressed while admiring the family portrait, as he did every morning. It's always made his heart warm to see his family together. Him, his wife, their son, and their daughter. Morning! The redhead girl yawned sleepily. Morning, Dad. Morning, Daddy. The boy grunted in reply. His sister was better at mornings. Sam, you got chicken duty today. Nate, you're on pigs. Now get some breakfast and get your chores. The farmer's wife quickly fixed up dinner for her children, as the farmer skipped it to get to milking the cows. The farmer went to the cowshed. He only owned a few, but loved them like family. They woke up as he entered the shed. Morning, girls. The cows eyed him lazily, but perked up when he brought out their feed. With the cows happily munching at breakfast, their farmer got to work milking them. The manual labor had long since been a routine, and in its own way, it made him happy. Once finished with his chores, the farmer patrolled the land to make sure his kids weren't getting into trouble. Hi, Daddy. Hello, darling. You doing okay? Yeah, the bucket is a little heavy, but I can manage. The chickens sure are hungry this morning. She carried a metal pail, half filled, with birdseed. The farmer noticed something out of place near the chicken coop. A small red tractor. It easily fit in the palm of his hand. Must be Nate's. He pocketed it and made sure Sam finished her chores, then continued his rounds around the property. The farmer strolled over to the pig pen and found the pigs already fed and happily rolling in bud. It looked like Nate's already finished and was nowhere to be seen. The farmer headed to the boys' room. Hey, Nate. How's life? I don't know. It's all right. Yeah? Found your toy out by the chicken coop. You aren't supposed to take it outside like that. You'll lose it. Farmer pulled out the tractor and held it out to his son. The boy looked confused at the object, taking it from his father and examining it closely. This ain't mine. The boy reached under his bed and pulled out an exact replica of the toy his father just gave him. Mine has a scratch on the tire here. He showed the alteration to his father. There was a sense of unease that crept over the farmer in this moment, a sense that he may have forgotten something important, like a cold stiffness enveloping his own body. Investigate. Something doesn't feel right. The farmer took a hard look around the room. It had a double bed, and there was more than enough clothes for one boy. In fact, there were several duplicates of outfits. Are you sure you don't know where this came from? The boy stared at his father once again, and then at the toy. Tears began to well up in his eyes. Keep looking? The boy didn't answer, looking almost afraid. The farmer started going through the boy's clothes and toys. He found that the boy seemed to have a duplicate of just about everything. Every toy and every garment had a match. He noticed that the boy's Sunday best, his mother had embroidered his name on it. Seemed a silly thing to do. There was a gnawing at the farmer's stomach. He turned his attention to the dress shirt's duplicate and slowly reached for it. He read the embroidered name on the duplicate dress shirt. Andrew. Nate, who is Andrew? There was a look of confusion on the boy's face. He had twisted with pain as he suddenly got up and ran out of the room. Does our character have Alzheimer's? Was there more people in the family at one point? And does modern medicine exist? The farmer took a bit of time to try and mull things over. Stunned by his inexplicable feeling, he wandered the property, doing odd jobs mindlessly. The farmer took a bit of time to try and mull things over. Stunned by this inexplicable feeling, he wandered the property, doing odd jobs mindlessly. It felt as if he roamed about like a zombie from task to task, the entire day skipping lunch. By the time his wife hollered at him from the house, he couldn't be sure how long he had zoned out for. By the setting sun, it must have been most of the day. In the kitchen, the family was already gathered and seated at the table. There was an extra empty chair at the table. It had always been there, but the presence felt off to the farmer. His wife set everyone's places at the table. She had made them a nice home-cooked dinner. Well, go ahead and say grace, dear. Huh, all right. The farmer tried to shrug off his stupor and enjoy the meal. The evening activities unfolded as normal. Before long, it was time to go to bed, to get up tomorrow and do it all over again. Alarm clock goes off at the crack of dawn. Official start of the new day. The day being August 14th, the farmer got dressed while admiring the family portrait, as he did every morning. It always made his heart warm to see his family together. Him, his wife, and their daughter. Why are there less people in the photograph now? Why am I half expecting that they're just gonna be like a person underneath the fucking bed? Like I'm just gonna we're gonna see a fucking face under there, or like someone's gonna be at the window. Better not be fucking jump scares in this, or is it just gonna be like fridge horror, where it's like, oh, this is not initially scary, but then you look like, oh, there's a person under the bed. Ask the farmer's wife if she knows anyone named Andrew. Now, why would I go and do a foolish thing like that? Or oh, fucking goddamn it. Her miscarriage of the twins was the hardest thing in our lives. Why bring up such sore memories? The morning was usual. The three got up. They ate breakfast, and the farmer milked the cows. His wife fed the hogs, and Sam tended the chickens. Sure, there was a gnawing at the farmer's stomach today. Something just fell off. When he sat down to milk the cows, he had groaned in pain as something in his back pocket jabbed him. He retrieved whatever it was. Huh. This one of the boys. Why was it in my back pocket, though? Did Sam? No, that makes no sense. Go ask Sam about the toy now. The farmer left the cowshed, cows unmilked. He quickly got over the chicken coop, where Sam was nowhere to be found. The farmer looked around and saw Sam leaving the house and coming this way. She looked surprised to see him there. Oh, finished with the cows already? Not quite, but I wanted to ask you if you know anything about this. The farmer held out the toy tractor. Sam looked at the toy for a moment, her eyebrows furrowing. What is that? I found it in my back pocket this morning. Do you know anything about it? Seems are well tense to the allegation. No. Yeah, I didn't figure you would. But I remember putting it there earlier. Sam was silent for a moment. Don't worry about it, darling. I'm sure it's nothing. I'll let you get back to it. Put the tractor back where it belongs. Farmer went inside the house. He approached the closed and locked door to the room that would have been his twins. The farmer was alone in the house. With a deep breath, he grabbed his keyring and went to unlock the door. Surprisingly, the door was already locked. He suspiciously entered the room. Now, why would the door be unlocked? The farmer sighed heavily as he took in the room. The toys were scattered on the floor. The children's clothes hung from the rack. The double bed lay disheveled. Looks like whoever was in here trashed the room. The farmer's eyebrows furrowed. Sam wouldn't be interested in boys' toys, would she? Why would she come in here like this? Would she trash the room? Or maybe it was my wife, but why? Was she looking for something? I would need to ask him about the room tonight. Not a conversation I'm looking forward to, though. His mind shifted topics as he looked around the room, forced to deal with memories he would like to forget. What was I thinking? Why didn't I build a crib? What was our plan with this bed for 2 babies? The farmer noticed a tear roll down his cheek. I'm an idiot. We bought all these clothes long before the boys would even need them. And Sam's old baby clothes are still in a box somewhere. Huh. I still have all my son's baby clothes. Even though he's long since outgrown that stuff. Then spent a couple minutes cleaning up the rest of the room. The farmer leaves the room, his head rattled. Much like yesterday, the farmer felt zoned out for a majority of the rest of the day, stewing on his thoughts. Something just felt wrong. At one point, the farmer found himself at the old maple tree. The tire swing swayed lightly in the breeze. Laying in the dirt below, he noticed something shining and picked up. Sam's, looks like. I'll give it back to her tonight. The farmer pocketed it. Before long, the sun was starting to set. With the daily chores done and the sun starting to go down, it's time to reconvene inside the house and eat supper. Sitting at the table, the thoughts of the twins' room swirls in his mind. And then the bell came flying right back toward me. I had to run and dive for it. But I caught it. Sam regaled her parents with a tale of her last softball game. His wife sat smiling warmly at their daughter, listening intently. We have a future Major League player at the table, wouldn't you say, dear? Oh yeah, definitely. He looked at his family, smiling brightly. He didn't want to ruin the moment by bringing up something painful. He resigned himself to ask them about the room tomorrow. Sam's pen slipped to his mind during dinner, leaving it stashed in his pocket for tomorrow. The alarm clock goes off at the crack of dawn. Official start of a new day. The next day being August 15th. The farmer got dressed while admiring the family portrait, as he did every morning. It always made his heart warm to see him and his wife standing side by side. The seemingly happy married couple ate breakfast together, making small talk about the weather and crops. But it was all meaningless conversation. The moments of silence was frustrating. Of course, taking care of a farmstead was a job too big for 2 people. But fate had been especially cruel to us. The farmer gritted his teeth. Sam didn't deserve what happened to her. No child does. Freak accident? More like God smiting us for some reason. And if losing 1 child is bad enough, the miscarriage 6 years ago, 3 children in total. That's when I stopped believing. Or maybe he just hates us. Honey? The farmer snapped out of his thoughts and looked at his wife. who wore a concerned expression. He realized he was gripping his fork hard enough to start bending it. He dropped the utensil on the table. "It's nothing, don't worry." She didn't say anything. After finishing breakfast, it was time to take on the large task-load of chores to keep the farm running. As the farmer moved to do his daily routine with the cows, he noticed something amiss in the breast pocket of his overalls. He fished around and pulled out the unfamiliar object. Huh. Where did this come from? It looks like the one we got for Sam on her 11th birthday? The farmer knows he hasn't been in her room for a couple months at least. Investigate Sam's room. The farmer solemnly walked back toward the house. He glanced at the side of the house and saw his wife at the herb garden, pulling weeds with her garden trowel like usual. She didn't seem to notice him. The farmer came to Sam's door. Push through the pane and go inside. Taking a single step in the room filled the farmer with dread. And yet the farmer felt compelled to. Was it masochism? Guilt? He looked over the toys and garments of the daughter he had lost. Not nearly as dusty as he assumed they would be. He pulled out the pen and went to put it on her bedside table. As good of a place as any. On the bedside table lay the journal that went with the pen. He stared at it for a moment, considering. He picked it up and sat on the small bed. I miss her. This will probably only hurt me more, not give me comfort. The farmer's rational side tried to brace for the emotional impact he was sure he was about to endure. He opened to the first page. The farmer smiled in a distraught, melancholic way. March 2nd, Mom and Dad got me this diary. For my birthday, told me to keep notes, write down important things. Told me that when I'm older, it would be fun to look back on what I thought what I was a kid. I'm not a kid, though. I'm nearly 12 now. I think it's a little silly, but I'll humor her. March 7th, school's hard. But I'm getting the hang of it. Miss Graham has been helping me with my math. I have also been looking at joining the softball team. I'm hoping to get on and become friends with Amy. I really do want to be her friend. I hope she wants the same thing. The bittersweet memories of his little girl stabbing at his heart as he read over her words. He flipped the page and continued to read. March 17th, secret. That means you, Nate and Andrew. I really hope no one reads this. I would die of embarrassment. I put it off, thinking it was dumb to write it down in the first place. For days, but I just can't contain myself anymore. I can't stop thinking of the dang Jacob boy in my class. I find myself daydreaming about him when I'm in class. Miss Graham even hollered at me today about zoning out. My face red as a tomato. I just know it. Spring break is coming up. Maybe I'll just get up the courage to ask him out on a date or something. March 19th. I hate my stupid little brothers. It's bad enough. They are annoying at home. But since they started going to the same school as me this year, they have been bugging me there too. Now I'm afraid they might do something stupid, like take Jacob how I feel about him before I'm ready. Good thing Nate believes me when I'd say I'd break his arm worse than last time he fractured it playing at soccer. Wait. We got this for her this spring. The miscarriage happened years ago. Is this some kind of fantasy? Her imagining what her brothers would have been like. Did she not understand our talk about losing the babies? I suppose she was only 5 or so when it happened. It seems far-fetched for an 11-year-old to have this kind of imagination, worrying even. With a bit of dread and a bit of intrigue, the farmer turned to the next page. More minor thoughts from a child. Nothing particularly of note until he stopped on one that looked out of place. July 29th. I swear, I just saw something in the corn. Out my window, something pale, like an albino or something. But there shouldn't be any coyotes or nothing out here. Haven't been for years. I hadn't been, but just stuck the cotton in my ears to ignore my brothers bouncing around next door and get some shut-eye, and I saw it. It's dark out, but I know I saw something. What the hell? This date is after the accident. Did she mislabel it? Did she mean June? The farmer flipped back and forth and looked at the surrounding entries. All the dates lined up chronologically. There were multiple entries after the accident. Is this some cruel joke? The farmer examined the handwriting. It was not his wife's, though he has no idea why she would make false entries to begin with. Any explanation except ghostwriting escaped him. He closed the journal, feeling sick to his stomach and unsure of what to think. Was this a nightmare? Thinking about the situation gave him a headache. The farmer felt lightheaded as he put the book back on the bedside table. He noticed a small jar of cotton balls, apparently what Sam used as earplugs. The farmer grabbed a couple, not entirely sure why. As he stood, he noticed his hands were trembling. Maybe some good old-fashioned manual labor will calm my nerves. The farmer knew he was lying to himself, but what else could he do? Once again, the farmer spent the rest of the day in a haze. Once again, the day came to a close. It was time for supper and bed. Over dinner, the farmer wanted to talk to his wife, but there really wasn't anything left to say. She had felt rather cold to him since everything happened, but he can't say he blamed her. Such pain hardens a person. He had felt it in himself as well. Tried to tell the farmer's wife what he found in Sam's journal. I found Sam's pen and journal today. His wife's normal, warm smile fell from her face. She looked back at him, sternly, coldly even. This wasn't a conversation she wanted to have, it appeared. The farmer didn't either. I wouldn't bring it up unless it was important. He tried to reassure her, but it didn't look like it worked. And it just didn't make sense. There are entries about the farmer hesitated for a moment. Boys. There are even some after the accident. There was a silence in the room. What are you talking about? Why are you saying this? She stood up, the anger evident on her face. Even if he was telling the truth, she didn't want to hear it. Before the farmer can form a coherent thought, she stormed off, slamming the front door on the way out. The farmer sat there stunned for a moment before he could chase after her. He heard the truck engine start. He went to the window to see the truck pull down the driveway. I guess I have to deal with that in the morning now, too. He went to bed alone, dreading the morning. The alarm clock goes off at the crack of dawn. The official start of a new day. This day being August 16th, the farmer got dressed while cursing his life. No family, not anymore. The ex-wife he hates up and left him. Took all the kids with her, too. The farm was never meant to be run by a single person. He must work day in, day out just to keep things running by himself. He resentfully got to work. After milking the cows and hitting the chicken coop, the farmer saw something lying in the dirt near the house. He went over and picked it up. She must have forgotten it when she left. Good riddance. The farmer tossed the trowel to the ground dismissively. He looked at the driveway, where he remembered her driving off with the truck and the kids in the back seat. Except the truck was still there, and it was parked at an odd angle. Now at the tailgate toward the house, like normal, but turned around as if someone drove up to the house and immediately got out. He went over, out of pure curiosity, to check it out. The driver's side door was unlatched. He opened the door to investigate. The truck's cabin was empty, but there were several bottles of wine and a crate in the passenger seat. The farmer certainly didn't remember buying that. I probably just forgot about last time I went to a store. Better get back to work. Let the farmer's delusional thoughts take over. Put the cotton balls in his ears. The farmer felt like a fool, but there was no one around to see him, except the animals. He took a small cotton ball and he ripped it in half and stuffed the pieces in his ears, deafening himself. The sounds of the farm and ambient noises of the cotton tree died out. The farmer slowly spun around, looking lazily at his property, expecting to see nothing, but something caught his eye. A hole had been punched in the cornfield, directly across from the truck. What the hell? As he walked closer, the slime on the ground seemed to slightly sizzle. The knocked-over corn stalks that lay in the ooze were nearly completely dissolved. Standing at the entrance of the trail, the farmer felt a chilled wind blow past him, far colder than should be possible in the summer. Follow it. The farmer must know what this is. The farmer carefully walked forward, swallowing the lump in his throat. He made sure to slowly proceed, avoiding the acidic ooze. The trail curved right into a small clearing in the middle of the cornfield. The sky seemed to suddenly darken to night, and bright stars appeared overhead. In the center of the clearing lay a massive pure white mound of flesh. The farmer's gasp of shock was enough to arouse the thing. Hundreds of eyes all over its body popped open and spotted him. The mound shifted awake. The farmer was simply too shocked and fearful to run. His legs buckled, and he crumpled to the ground as this creature slithered up to him. In one fatal chomp, he joined his family. The farmer learned somewhat what was going on the past few days, and why everyone had felt so weird, but it cost him his life. Maybe he would have been better off just running away. Thank you. This is my first video game. And it was very experimental and educational. There are a million small indie games available, so it means a lot when someone decides to spend their time on my stuff. So thank you for playing. As a hint for completionists, there are 3 endings. If you like this game, I encourage you to check out my developer page for other project works. Thank you for playing. Leave now, just get in the truck and drive. The farmer succumbed to his panic. He wasn't sure what was happening, but whatever it was, he wanted out. He jumped in the truck and drove to the nearest town. Tried to explain to the police he wasn't really sure what to even tell them. He had no answers. They sent out a squad car but just found a farm with no one home. The animals seemed fine and healthy, nothing out of the ordinary. The farmer is too shook to go back. He spent a night at a hotel. He feared for the animals, but couldn't bring himself to go back to the farm. He ended up phoning some distant family members, letting them know about the farm and asking if they would be willing to take care of the animals. He never ended up going back, instead opting to move away, somewhere far, where he could forget the house, the family he used to have. He tried to keep up with the local paper from the town near the farm, seeing if any news came out. Nothing materialized. The only ones of relevance were every few years there was a story about a house in a country that the police found abandoned. The former owners always vanished. The house became a local legend, a legend he was glad to not be part of. He thought about reconnecting with his ex-wife and the kids, but had a feeling deep in his stomach that he knows, even if he looked, he would never find them. Perhaps it was better to assume they were happy and alive, just far away instead of the alternative. He got to live out the rest of his life in solitude, but thinking about that short week of time, the ooze, he never ended up getting an answer. He died, wondering what really happened and what could have been. Brush it off. Finish chores. Farmer finished milking the cows. Swinging tires which hung from the odd old man. Suppose I put off long enough, let's put his toy back. Shy away from the pain. The farmer shook off the weird feelings. He had much too much work to do to be thinking about strange things. He got back to work and quickly forgot about the gnawing in his gut. Another uneventful and unfulfilling day passed. The alarm clock goes off the crack of dawn, the official start of a new day, the day being August 17th. However, the alarm doesn't stop going off. No one was there to stop it. All the animals wait for the hours, then days for the handlers to feed them, yet no one came. To a passerby, it would look as if someone just got up and abandoned the whole life. One day, just got in the car and drove away from everything they ever owned. Except the car was still there. It took a few months for the police to finally notice that there was an abandoned farmhouse with a bunch of dead livestock rotting in their pens. It got chalked up to some kind of illegal activity in the papers. They were clueless of the real reason. If only they had looked for more clues. Okay. So what if I... Leave her be. Best not trouble. Not even sure what I would say or how I would try to explain what I'm thinking. After dinner, I tried to diffuse the tension in the air. The farmer's wife suggested going and getting something special from a nearby store, the nearest being several miles away. He weakly agreed he could use a distraction from his swarming thoughts. She took the truck and got back half an hour later. The couple shared a bottle of wine before heading to bed. Okay, I think I've done everything I can do in this game.